I seen a bit of the video that Critical made about Twitter no-lifes hating on MrBeast for recreating Squid Game and figured I'd go against everything I believe in, hop on Twitter and go ahead and read some of these hate comments and steal another video idea while my cat is meowing in the background. And I just want to go on the record here and let you know what my stance is on Twitter. I would much prefer waking up in a bathtub with a scar and a missing kidney than be an active Twitter user like the basement dwellers we're about to see in this video. And also I have a grand total of 10 tweets and less than 2 hours overall on the app, so you know, we can jump in now. After I let my cat out because he won't shut up. MrBeast, I'm sorry, but this doesn't pass the vibe check. Capitalism like this is exactly what the show is critiquing. Well, you had a good run, but it's over now, MrBeast. You failed the vibe check, man, and on Twitter, that's basically the death penalty. But that's a very common trend you'll notice among all these tweets is that they all use the capitalism is exactly what Squid Game is critiquing argument. But hold your loads. There's a follow-up tweet. Honestly, even if my opinion may not be 100% factual, the fact you were so willing to jump under the bus for a capitalist who would exploit you for profit is just astounding. Just because someone gives away money doesn't mean they're a good person. I guess that is true, you know, giving away money doesn't immediately make you a good person, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I also don't know how capitalist MrBeast is exploiting me. He hasn't blackmailed me with nudes or anything yet, telling me to send him money or else. But, you know, even if he's a bad guy giving money away maliciously, he's still helping the people he's giving the money to. If I was receiving money from an angry man yelling at me, $100 is still $100. If an angry dude yelled at me, called me some slurs, and then still gave me $100, you know, that's $100. I'm gonna take that any day of the week. You know that TV show about a game where desperate people kill themselves for the chance of winning money, telling us how sadistic the rich can be and how the working class is just entertainment fodder for them? Let's do that in real life. Don't worry, nobody dies, so it's okay. I'm not showing any names in this video, but for the record, this guy does have communism symbols in his Twitter name, and he also has 41,000 tweets. I'm not familiar with Twitter, like I said, but 41,000 tweets is a lot, right? But if someone were to blindly read all of these tweets so far, they would probably think MrBeast was actually going to be killing all the people in this Squid Game remake, because that's how big of a temper tantrum these Twitter users are making. You would think someone just crapped on their favorite anime series or something. Like, they're genuinely upset over this for some reason. They're making MrBeast seem like the equivalent of a VIP from Squid Game, like he's a cat-petting evil villain who just only looks to benefit himself and chuckles after he makes someone else's life more miserable. When the truth is actually the complete opposite. He gives away so much money to various different things to help people, and even has this new philanthropy channel where he has this massive food bank operation where he is giving food and help to these people that the Twitter users are saying he should be helping with this money instead of putting it towards the Squid Game remake. When the concept of the show is lost on you, the fact that you wasted so much money commemorating a show about wealthy nihilistic sociopaths that watch the poor compete in blood sport in order to validate their social Darwinian worldview indicates to me that you really didn't understand what it was about. I know they felt so cool after using those big words to absolutely put it on MrBeast, like Darwinian. Oh baby, what a word. These two users have a combined 200,000 plus tweets, by the way. I'm more in awe of the sheer amount of time people are spending on Twitter than the tweets themselves at this point. I mean, I'm not even joking when I say this. Go touch some grass. But to further elaborate on them saying the point of the show was lost on this bozo, it's not that deep. He's doing this because people ask him to, and because it's a huge trend, you know. But once again, it's not that deep. It's really not. I guarantee you 99% of people who watch Squid Game purely watch for entertainment, while the rest of you Twitter goblins were just trying to find the next thing to make your 100,000 tweet about. Now here's a masterful art piece crafted by a Twitter user for you visual learners out there. At MrBeast, this you? Octopus Game. Wow, I love this show about desperate, impoverished people fighting over money. I will extrapolate no meaning from it. I love capitalism. They used big brain words too. Wow, extrapolate. Woo. Isn't that what it's called when you strangle someone with a strap on? I know this is a point that Charlie really hit home in his video, and I'm trying to give a bit of new commentary on the subject, but MrBeast built up all this fame and wealth, and instead of choosing to spend it on himself and be very greedy, he spends an absurd amount of money just to help people when he has absolutely no obligation to do so, because he's genuinely a good guy. Now, I don't know him personally, you know, we're not homies, we don't slap cocks with each other, but I would definitely give him a rim job. Now, obviously, we are also on Twitter, and you're not allowed to be supportive or get along on Twitter. It's always supposed to be an active war zone of words when you're on there, so, you know, you got to take that into consideration, I guess. Why make the poor compete for wealth when you have enough money to redistribute it to those who need it? Being poor is just entertainment for people like you. You think we exist to dance for your dollars. This is sick, and I'm so sorry to the show's creator for... This is sick, and I'm so sorry to the show's creator watching everyone miss his point. Imagine watching this show and then deciding that this is who you want to be. Not all the giving and kind characters who deserved a shot at a better life. This. And all this guy's fans are in support. Makes my freaking skin crawl. They just furiously talked about MrBeast missing the point of the show and choosing to be a rich douche bastard like the VIPs from Squid Game, when they seem to have missed the entire point of MrBeast as a real-life person and all the giving back he has done. They even went as far to say as he was nothing like the kind and giving characters in the show, when he literally has a whole channel based around him being kind and giving. I don't get it. It's like there's a carrot. They're dangling the carrot right in front of your face. You just take 5 seconds and you can figure out and see all the giving back he has done. But you just decide to post on Twitter and try to hate on him instead. That doesn't make sense at all. And just to absolutely slam on this Twitter user to further drive my point down their throat, he's a real person making a real impact, unlike the characters in the show that you seem to have a massive hard-on for. There are many more malicious tweets going at MrBeast, but they all kind of just regurgitate the same thing. They're all just, you know, copy and paste from each other. So I'm not going to be showing anymore. They all are along the lines of MrBeast is a bad guy, and he should have gave that $3.5 million to people who need it instead of spending it on a Squid Game remake and missing the point of the show. The creator is so pissed off at you, MrBeast. But then they see no problem with the actual creator of the show spending millions and millions more than what MrBeast spent to make the show to get across this message about capitalism. The irony. The irony. They just want to make MrBeast like this scapegoat and like have him up and make him an example, you know, show him what happens whenever you don't give money to the people who need it and spend it on Squid Game remake. Show them, prank them, John. I just don't get it at all. MrBeast is probably the most generous guy on the internet. He's out of all the famous influencers, he's probably the guy he's definitely the guy who's gave back more to charity and helping people. But for some reason, Twitter users are that hateful that they go after him anyways. But those tweets saying that MrBeast should have gave the $3.5 million he spent on production of the Squid Game remake to people who actually need it reminds me so much of those TikTok people who were saying billionaires have enough money to give everyone in the world $1 billion and then still have billions left over, but they choose not to because they're greedy. Social media just isn't the best place for learning anything, you know. It's mainly just a cringe and laugh factory with girls dancing on TikTok at the top of the food chain. That's really how it works. Now I want to end the video off with a meme that also disproves every tweet in this entire video with enough evidence to shove it down their throat and make them lock it. MrBeast should use this wealth to actually help people instead of doing stupid videos. I cleaned the world's dirtiest beach. Hashtag Team C's. I gave $200,000 to people who lost their jobs. Coronavirus. I adopted every dog in a dog shelter. Giving $1 million of food to people in need. Giving 10,000 presents to kids for Christmas. And there are many more examples. But even from those right there, those 5 examples, that's plenty more than I've seen anybody else do on the internet. That's for sure. But, you know, hey, he's still a bad guy. He's horrible, you know. MrBeast. Hashtag cancel MrBeast. Hashtag get rid of MrBeast party. Make that trend on Twitter. So yeah, that'll do it for me. Once again, this is just an example of Twitter being worse than Minnesota. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.